Hey y'all. So today I am so excited to be talking about readers imbibing peril. So it's a reading challenge, one of my favorite over the year. It's the 15th year that they've done it. I will link the accounts for the hosts of the reading challenge in the comments below. So it's the 15th time they've done readers imbibing peril, so RIP. But it's maybe the third year, maybe third or fourth year that I've done it. So the point of it is to have extra reading in horror, dark fantasy, science fiction, thrillers, suspense, those kinds of things. The goal is to read scary. So it kind of marks the fall. It's September and October, and summer is not technically over, but for me, September usually means the end of summertime things. So school goes back in. I'm not in school, but I teach in a university, so we're still very much on an academic calendar. And I work with kids who are also very much on an academic calendar. So September always feels like the beginning of fall for me. I'm gonna try this year and wait to buy pumpkins for the porch until maybe middle of September. But a friend of mine, an old neighbor of mine, has a pumpkin farm, so I'll definitely be taking a trip over there to pick up some super cool varieties of pumpkins for the front yard that always end up being great snacks for the chipmunks and the squirrels in my front yard. So I'm excited about that, but I'm gonna try and hold off just a little bit. I've already got the fall colors out on the porch and everything, so it's time to switch. I went to Michael's earlier today to pick up some great Halloween. They always have cool Halloween stuff, especially like skeletons reading and that kind of thing. But the line was so long that I just abandoned the whole idea and left. So I'll be headed back there pretty soon to pick up some things, I'm sure. So I do not TBR specifically because I am a mood reader and I don't tend to just go to a list and start reading from that list. But I do have some things on my cart as well as recent purchases that would fit the goals of the reading challenge. So I figured that I would talk about some of those, some of which I've talked about in other videos, and some of which would be a haul video from earlier this week. But actually all of those except for one could be RIP books. So I'll just talk about them here instead. The only one that maybe doesn't count is This Is My America. So I just got this last week. It's a novel by Kim Johnson. I've heard a lot about it and am excited to read it. The back says, they look at my father and think murderer. They look at my brother and think thug. They look at me and think I'll be quiet. They are wrong. So it's gotten some great reviews, lots of good buzz about it, great cover. So I'm excited for this. I don't think it's got any supernatural or magical or fantasy kinds of things, although arguably I'm gonna guess there are some horrible things that happen in it. I don't think it meets the horror genre exactly, so I don't think this one will count, but it was in my box from this week. In my box, like it's a regular thing. No, it was a bunch of books I bought online that came this week. Okay, so I think Ceremony will count. So I talked about Ceremony in a library haul video, I think. It was recommended by a booktuber. So I'm excited about this one. I think there's some supernatural mythology stuff that happens in this one, Native American focused. The main character has come home after being a prisoner of war following World War II. So that is definitely, or almost definitely, because I haven't read it, an RIP novel. The Weight of Stars which I haven't read it yet, but maybe more science than science fiction. I'm not totally sure. If you know, drop your knowledge down below. I think it's science fiction, but there's an astronaut in it, so it might be actually more science-based than science fiction-based, but I think this one will count. The Monster of Elendhaven, which is about, it talks about a monster with a dark heart and long pale fingers yearning to wrap around throats. A monster who cannot die. So that sounds like what we're looking for. The First Sister. I love this cover. Looking good. So again, I'm not totally sure this one's gonna count, but the bottom of the description on the jacket says, part high-flying space opera, part twisty, compelling drama, and part topical social commentary. The First Sister will grab you from page 1 and refuse to let you go. So, space opera? Maybe. Twisty and compelling. It sounds good, regardless. So, this one came in the mail. I mean, I bought it, and then it came in the mail. Conjure Women. So I believe there's a little bit of magic and supernatural in this one, but it may be that they're accused of witchcraft because they're healers in the book. So got to be careful of that. Maybe it will count. I have been seeing a lot about this book. A mother and daughter with a shared talent for healing and conjuring curses are at the heart of this dazzling first novel. So I think my plan is to read this one probably September, as opposed to like waiting until October. Ceremony, same thing. It's going to be earlier in the list of reads. You guys, I'm having such a hard time recording this whole thing. I've ran out of space on my phone, and I looked up just now and I wasn't recording. I have no idea when I stopped recording. It's just been a mess. So hopefully I'm not about to go back and just repeat everything or say a bunch of stuff I've already said that was recorded. But I'll fix it in post. Okay, so I think what I just finished talking about was Conjure Women. I'm pretty sure I also talked about The Weight of Stars and Monster of Elendhaven. So that leaves, in between is a book that Kina from Coven of, I'm having a brain fart. Coven of Readers, I think. Coven of Nerds. Not Coven of Witches. But Kina and I are going to do a discussion on YouTube for this in October. So it is called The Between by Tananarive Due. I think that's how you say her first name, Miss Due. So if you have read this or want to read it, now's the time. So you can discuss it with us in October. Lovecraft Country. So I'm almost positive this one is going to count for readers Imbibing Peril. There's some, I assume, chimerical blend of magic, power, hope, and freedom that stretches across time. So in this book, a 22-year-old Army veteran, Atticus, goes into the South, 1954. Takes a road trip to New England to find his father who's been missing, with his uncle, who was one of the publishers of the Safe Negro Travel Guide, and his friend Letitia. So I am planning to read this, and then apparently I told my partner that I would watch the new HBO series with him. I don't remember having that conversation, but when he saw that I had bought this book, he was saucy because he knows that I don't usually watch a show if I'm going to read the book and vice versa. And he reminded me of a conversation that I'm not sure ever happened. So the plan will be for me to read it first and then we'll watch it. I believe that all the episodes aren't out yet anyway, and so I'm definitely not going to watch it if I have to watch one and then wait and then, watch and then wait. So we have to wait for them all to come out before I watch it anyway. So I actually am planning to read this one first in September. It's going to kick off my RIP 15 on Tuesday. So this will also be the source probably of, or a focal point of my vlog for this week as I read this book. Okay, so as far as I know, I've said everything 3 times. I'll have to go back and watch the videos to see what recorded and what didn't record. But if you have read any of these or are participating in RIP 15 and have recommendations for me, then let me know down below, or link me to your videos and your blog posts about your TBRs for September and October that are spooky, creepy, scary, suspenseful, thrillery, whatever, because I'm definitely interested to see what other people are reading. And I didn't tell you or point out part of my dragon collection that I brought down and put on the shelf just because RIP, one of the categories is fantasy. So those are my dragons, some of my dragons behind me, kicking off an awesome spooky season. Okay, see you next time.